Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Carn Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house, and we are excited because you know what? We need to change the way we think about money. And that's what Coach Karen helps us do. She helps us have a better relationship with our finances and with the things that affect our daily lives. So, with that, I want to introduce to some, present to others, Coach Karen Fern from Profits in Daily. You can find her everywhere on the internet under Profits in Daily. So, with that, we're going to get this party started. I hope you've got your pencil and pen ready. Woo woo!
Woohoo! And Terry, let me shout her out. She's looking so beautiful today. She let the hair down,
Oh,
guys.
I took the ponytail out.
Looking gorgeous.
Yes. So I'm feeling very free this morning.
Oh, nice.
Uh, so with that, we're going to turn it over to Coach Karen. And Coach, what do you have for us today?
Today, and you said the words that is coming up. You said what do we have to think about? And we're talking about mindset behaviors today towards money. Like
Mm-hmm.
mindset behaviors towards money. Because whatever we're feeling inside, whatever's happening inside, we showcase it physically. Whether we understand we're doing it or not, we showcase it physically. And so we're just going to tackle two things, but two heavy ones. We're talk about how do you decide what to buy or what to spend on when it
Mm.
comes to your business. But really, it starts personal and leads into your business. And who are you validating by spending or buying in a specific way?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, you got to understand these things. You got to really sit down and sort this out. So all this week, was mindset and love. And of course, we're talking about money in there. And we cover quite a bit things. If you guys didn't listen, go back and check it out. We cover some good stuff in there. Excuse me. But today we're talking about mindset behaviors. Uh, One of the big ones is, when you want to start a business and you're planning to start a business, you get all excited for all the things you're going to buy. If you're going to do stickers, you get excited about stickers. If you're going to do printable, you get excited about printable. And if you're around the internet streets, you hear, well, starting a print on demand business is very easy. There's not a lot to do. So you get caught up in that nonsense. It is not true. Every business, there's a lot to do. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just state that. Every business that you start, there's a lot to do. And it all starts in the mind. And there's a lot of money that you can spend if you're not paying attention to the things you have to do. And not only money and time. Because when you start a business, one of the biggest things I like teaching my business 101 is understanding the departments that you're going to create in your business. When you create departments in your business, when you understand the roles that you might have to take on, all the roles, but that there is individual roles, you start understanding what it takes to run that business, your time
Okay.
and your money. So if you budget out, I need a new computer. I need I'm gonna get into that just now. I need a iPad maybe because I want to do the drawing. I need the pencil for the iPad. I need a second screen. I need whatever you're thinking you need. If you're a visual person, sometimes you're doing it on the computer, but you need to print it out. So I need a printer. I need ink because I need to see what's going to look like when the people print it out.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things sometimes people don't even take into consideration. And that is so important because when the person get it, you want to be able to say to them, here's the best printers to print them out on so you can get the best looking product after. Because somebody got a little $25 dinky printer that doesn't print well, all your work that went into your printables that now that you're selling, people say, well, wasn't good, but it was good. It's just that you didn't get to express it because you didn't test it out yourself. And here we
Mm-hmm.
are right again. It takes time. So if you're going to start anything, you got to really spend the time with it. Let's say you're teaching people. Once a guy had commissioned me to do pocket squares and he had a full-time job and he said, I want to start something on the side. I had this ad out that I would help all beginner creatives, people who want to sew, who want to create something that is sewn, but they can't sew. I will give them that push. This was this business model I had in mind. And I help people do sportswear for young kids. And this guy contacted me, Pocket Squares. I had another guy contact me for tent. So a lot of people got a lot of ideas, but sometimes they can't do the physical work. And when they come to me, I help them to more than just sew it. So because I know business, I sat with this guy and I said to him, "You want to create pocket squares? Why? What are you going to use it for? Who are your clientele? You know, because pocket square seems like just a square piece of fabric and you cut it, but you got to know who you created for, what type of suits, who's going to use it. My son
Mm-hmm.
is a really great dresser. He wears clothes really well, and he loves his pocket square and it's old school. So the people you're selling to is the people who like to look good regardless of where they're going, who
Mm-hmm.
is in a certain circle of people. Yeah, we can talk about class right now. Those are the people who's going to buy a pocket square and not complain. They'll pay $25. I morning Cecilia. They'll pay $25 easy for a pocket square without blinking. My son have, you know, because it's suit. It coordinates with the suit they have. There's this style in them that is far different. And you like 20, they'll pay. And so the type of material, are you going to do silk or cotton? Are you looking at linen? Like where are you? And when we're finished, and he paid me for my time, and he says, "Karen, you saved me a whole bunch of money." Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to expect. I just had this idea and I said, I'm going to run with it. I said to him, write out a business plan, no matter how simple, so that you'll know the time you want to spend. He was a tech guy. I'm like, you're going to have to spend at least 2 hours a day figuring out where you want to go, where you're going to source your material. And so I met him at the library. And then we had about 3 appointments that we meet long before Corona.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about everything. And he eventually said, I'm going to lay it to rest because I realized I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I can sew the squares for him. But could you imagine I saw him hundreds of squares and he has no way to sell them? He hasn't propositioned himself. And we'd kept in contact for like a whole year after that, just because we talked. I really enjoyed helping him out, seeing where he's at, having him go network with people, tell people his business idea, get people on a client list, talk to people who is interested in this, maybe get yourself acquainted with a suit maker, talk to the people that's really in your industry that's going to make this work before we cut any piece of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up making about 6 for him just for himself so he can wear it because he liked the idea. That was like a gift from me because he paid for my time and what have you. No, he took that time and he used it. At the end of the year, he says, Karen, that's not a business for me. I'm glad I took the time. I'm glad I kept my job and I'm glad I figure out where I want to be because it really helped him decide on the business that he truly wanted. And he was so
Mm-hmm.
afraid to do because in his mind he saw it, but he was looking at the validation from other people. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? And Pocket Square seems simple, straightforward, and nobody would know the wiser. When all he truly wanted to do was to organize like banquets, organize. He wanted to be a party organizer. He truly
Uh-huh.
wanted to be a person who organized retreats and that sort of thing. That's what he wanted to do. But he was straying so far away because it made him, I don't know, somehow in his head, he felt like this would be easy. Nobody would fight him on it. That, we had to go through who's going to fight him on it? Who's looking at him? Who
Mm-hmm.
cares? If you like pocket squares, go out and buy pocket squares. Fair enough. But you don't want to be the creator of a pocket square and tie. And mostly people who do it, because my son was thinking of that business himself. And most people who do it also incorporate the tie and let the tie and the pocket squares match. And
Yes.
I said to him, when you make ties, something people don't know, and I've made ties. Ties take a lot of fabric because you got to cut it under bias.
Mm-hmm.
And it eats fabric. So you got to be prepared on the testing arena because, of course, you can't factually it. I'm not sitting there sewing thousands of ties for anybody, but for the initial setup, it takes you a lot of money because I'm going to be cutting a lot of your fabric on the bias and I'm testing fabric, seeing what you like, fitting the tie for you. You get people wearing the tie, you have them tie the tie. I'm telling you about these simple things to showcase how you can have the simplest business and it takes time to develop, to be profitable, and for you to know that if you want to do this. And so we're talking about mindset behaviors. When you start understanding in your head and what needs to be accomplished, sometimes you really don't want to do any of the business. And I'm not knocking anybody who don't want to do business. I'm just saying, sometimes when you look at all the stuff, you don't want to do it. But here's the good news though. If you want to and you push through it, Like my other client who wanted to make sportswear for the kids in camp and soccer and basketball. She wanted to be the supplier of that. She truly wanted to. She truly wanted to. So she paid me for, she said she can cut it herself. She paid me to sew the samples. And she came and she couldn't sew it. She couldn't make a pattern. She didn't understand how it works. So we had to do, we derived from just sewing out for her to doing piecework. And I had, so that was a 3-month journey because for her, she had to learn how to make patterns, how to fit it, how to scale it, how to grade it, how to understand the colors, because you might like this color, but the team don't want to work with that color. You can also tell them this is not good for the sun. It's going to fade faster. It's too bright for people to watch it. Like, these are important things, and she didn't take into consideration. And she fought through the whole thing. Yeah, we disagreed on a lot of things. And her husband was like the buffer, and he came in. He said, "Listen, my wife want to do that, but she's just frustrated because you're probably the first person who's giving her everything raw. Most people are patting her. You're not patting. You're giving her raw. So if she's gonna, get 6 to 12 people who say yes, she can't serve them. Like, I sat her down. I said, you can't serve them. You want to serve 1 to 3. It sounds small, but you want to serve 1 to 3. And when you understand how it works with the 1 to 3, then you can serve 6, 12, I don't know, whatever number you want. And you get sores in, or you get it into a factory. But before you go that far, you want to serve them. You want to understand how it works, how the uniform works, who pays for it, and would they buy 2 or 3 uniforms from you?
Uh-huh.
Because just one uniform is not going to sustain your business. What are you going to do? That's really good clients.
Yes, and you need multiples
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
if you're going to supply teams. So
Yeah.
you need to be in a position to
Yeah.
do that.
To be able to do that, and got the machines that will help you do that, because a regular domestic machine, after a year, some, if you're sewing really hard with them, you're lucky if you hit a year, maybe 2, because they weren't made for that power. I don't care about iron in there, just the stitching and the bobbin. What would happen is you start skipping stitches. It's not stitching as great as you want it to, because you're on the machine anyway from 10 to 15 hours a day, and because it wasn't made for that, you have to now look at commercial machine, and they're not cheap. They're like 6,000 and up. You're paying for a good machine that can give you the speed and the time. And I brought her in because I got a commercial machine so that she can see the speed that I would sew something in versus the regular domestic machine. I can sew how many pans in a minute. It's like zoom, zoom. It just goes really quickly versus that. Even the search, the same thing.
And they're sturdy.
And they're sturdy. They're not going anywhere. You just have to keep them oiled and maintained, and you're good. You're good for years. I've got this one, oh my God, over 10 years. 15 years, and it's just in good shape because I keep it looked after. You bring in somebody, get it serviced, and it really keeps good. So all that stuff you have to build a sturdy mindset. You have to be focused, consistent, and understanding that things are going to come your way that's not going to look right, not going to feel good, but your job is to get through them. If the business is right for you, your job is to get through them. If this is what you're supposed to do, your job is to get through it. Get something being right for you doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Sometimes people think it's easy. It's easy to come up with the idea. It's easy to say, this is what I want to do, but it's not easy to actually perform the act and move through the act. It's like somebody who's going to get dreads. When I used to do natural hair care, I'll say to people, you sure you want to do dreads? And they're like, yes, I said, there's an ugly stage. When I first do your dreads, you're going to be happy. But there's an intermediate state where you look ugly with dreads. You need to wear.
When you got your growth going on, yeah.
It is just rough. And you got to go through this roughness. That's the only way, because dreads are expensive. And I'm not going to do cheap for you just because you don't want to, you're not sure. This is the price. Here's what happened. And I remember doing a kid hair. The dad paid for it, and it was $700. The dad didn't care. He wanted to give it to him as a gift, and the kid wanted it. And this is the difference of somebody who wants to go through something and somebody he's about 50. He's going to travel for 2 years, and he wanted dreads. He got his dreads done. He was very happy with it. When he was in Germany, even in Germany, the dad sent me pictures. He's still traveling. He's still enjoying it. This is what the hair is like. He said, I miss Miss Karen because I went to another hairdresser. It wasn't nice. They didn't do a good job. Just tell her when I come back, she's going to be tightening my hair again. He enjoyed it. He's pushing through all the difficulties and everything as he travel and he's, going and doing. I mean, his dreads seems like nothing, but that's really how we behave. If
Mhm.
personally it's hard for you to push through difficulties, it's not going to change when you start a business unless you change it. It's not like it's not changeable, but it's not going to change unless you change it. This is why I'm going to go right back to what I always talk about: the dream chair, the dream bed, the dream floor, whatever you want to use. But get and sit down there and dream. Don't stop the dream when it's difficult. Don't stop the dream when you're reaching those parts in your mind where you're not sure what's going to happen. You don't have to know everything, but it feels, I want to explain it this way. It feels like you're going up a hill, and it didn't matter how many sticks you have to hold on to and keep walking, you can't reach the top. That's what it feels like. You're gonna, but it feels like you can't reach the top. And most of us, we're human beings. We want to give up and give in. We do. I've been through a lot of things, but there's things in my life that I want to give up and give it to. I refuse to. That's the only reason. Let me tell you. I
Yeah, it,
refuse.
it can be tough. And this not only applies to business, this applies to life in general, does it
Mhm,
not?
mhm. It does.
This,
It really does. It's how we do one thing, we do everything, whether we believe it or not. That's what happens. I had
Mhm.
2 exams to write the other day, and I was debating it. I was like, okay, I could do these 2 exams in a week, and I'm studying, and nothing would stick. And I said, you know what, Karen? It's not because you can't do the 2 exams. It's because you're focusing on, I got 2 exams to do. Do one exam and then do the other. So I sat my butt down and did the one exam, took a day off, I did the other exam. I was fine.
Isn't that interesting though? Because we sometimes we try to focus on everything at one time, and we are just overwhelmed. We
That's what it
we
is.
can't focus.
Can't focus. Can't focus because the focus is going everywhere and you want to do everything and you really can do everything. That's why multitasking is something I don't like doing. I tell people when I cut it out was when I told you guys years ago, I burned something on the stove and I was like, it's over because I really wasn't there. Like, you can put in a load of laundry and go cook. But I figured out, even though I'm not there, the laundry, the washing would be finished and I would forget that I need to go put them in the dryer because I'm busy
Mm.
upstairs cooking. So I'm really not multitasking. So I cut out that nonsense. If I'm doing laundry, I'm doing laundry. I could read. I'm in the area with the laundry. When it come out, I fold it, I turn it. I'm right there observing, seeing what's going on. The other day my washer wasn't working well. And if I wasn't around and about, I would think my clothes was washed, but it wasn't washed because the washer, the sensory, something was happening with the sensory. And I had to go in and check it out. Okay, I got it fixed. But if I wasn't around and I was upstairs cooking, can you imagine? I would think I had a load of laundry done and it wouldn't have been done. So I cut that out. If I'm upstairs cooking and baking, I'm upstairs cooking and baking. I ain't washing no clothes. I ain't doing nothing. I'm not finding it. And when I was young, I used to find so many other things to do in between. I'm just not doing it. I'm just cooking. That's
Mhm.
it. Baking. I'm just baking. Monday I went upstairs to bake. I just bake and then I cook. I am trying to do both together. We're in the kitchen. There's a stove and an oven. I bake and then I cook. I am not multitasking. Multitasking don't get nothing done properly.
Mm.
When I hire people to tell me I'm a good multitasker, I'm like, I don't want you. You're just not doing nothing properly.
And there was a time when we all bragged about how what
Yes,
great multitaskers we were.
yes,
When
yes.
in
I used
fact,
to. I used to. I used to. And why am I
Mhm.
doing that? I'm doing that so that somebody can validate me and say that I'm great at what I'm doing because part of it was that
Well,
for
I
me.
think allegedly we thought we were getting more done,
We did.
then
I
we
did.
thought it was a better use of our time,
Yeah.
when in fact we were just not focused.
Nope. And we do the same thing in business. A friend and I was talking about. I said, when I people know I do a lot of things, but they don't understand is that I I section them off. That's why I do them. So when I'm
Mm.
focusing, if I was doing content, all I'm doing is writing content. I'm not doing anything else. That's it. This is my content day. When my content day was Sundays, I am writing content for those 4 hours that I set aside for myself. And I am tempted desperately to do go on Canva and do the design work, but I won't touch it. Like I fight myself on. No, it's not hard, but those days I would be fighting me not to go on Canva. It's so exciting to be there. And I said to myself, so if you so want to draw, take out a marker and scribble on a paper. And that's what I'll do. And then calm myself down, go to the washroom, wash my face, get a drink of water, get something to eat, come right back. And I'm only building out content. And I'm building out content because during the week, I'm remembering something, I'm working on a project, something hit me in the head, and I write little notes to myself. So those are like the heading, those are like what I'm going to talk about and what have you. And so now when I sit down to write content, I got my stuff already. So I just would hit out I could hit out the whole month content in a day for those 4 hours. Now, when I got a Canva, that's all I'm doing. I'm just designing. I'm happy because the content is written already. So the design work is just supporting the content. So everything I do in the design work is just supporting the content that I have already. If I did the design before, then I'm trying to figure out how to write to make it fit in. And that's how my brain works. My brain works differently, but that's how my brain works. I need the content and then I do the design work. And that comes together. And now I have it in Google Doc and it's parked there. And I have a month full of work. 3 days, 3 times a day. I had at one point 3 times that I could, post in my group, post on my page, post on my business page. Everything is ready. Then I can go in there and shift it around what I'm going to use for Instagram and what have you. And now everything is set. So during the day, and everything is set and it is scheduled. So during the day, I am not rushing to write content. I am not rushing to write a blog. I'm not doing that. I'm doing the work that I set out to do in my business, whatever that work was. That's the work I'm doing. If I'm working on a program, that's all I'm doing. I shut everything off and I sit there and I did my outline of my program and then I go through my program, what I need to do. If I want to see it on a 3D, I get into PowerPoint. I put it on slides. I literally watch what would happen with it. I'll do Loom and do little videos teaching, go back, look back at it, tweak it. That's where I'm at. Nothing else happens. I am doing nothing else. That's all I'm doing. But altogether, it's a lot of work, but it's in different departments. That's all I'm doing.
Wow. That is such, you know what? That is such great advice for just getting through life, for getting through things. I think the reason why a lot of things in our life are incomplete and why we're frustrated because of their incompleteness is because we don't focus on one thing at a time.
And that's it. That's it right
It's
there.
hard to ride a bike and juggle eggs.
It isn't it? Because the juggler had to learn to either juggle first or ride the bike. And then they combined the two. People see them and assume that they did both. No, they learned to do one and then the other. When I learned to waltz, years and years ago, we were little, but my great aunt used to give parties. And this gentleman, he loved me, my cousin. He was such a nice man. He used to be teaching all the kids to dance. And we would stand on his feet and he would say to us, especially me and a cousin of mine, he loved to dance. He says, you can't put all your weight on me. Then you'd have none to carry. Remember me telling us. And he would spin us around and spin us around. Myself and Leslie, and we would always be, as soon as the man come, we're like by his knees and he's spinning us around. As we grow, he teaching us more and more. And then one day he said, you can't be on my toes anymore. You can stand on your own. I remember that day. I was like freaking out, like, no, we can't. But of course we did. And we figured out how to move around. And it used to be like this thing. He come in and the first couple of songs play. We get our little dance lesson. And of course we were little, we get shoo off the bed. But myself and my cousin, we used to get those 2 little dance lessons. We felt so big and happy with ourselves. Let me tell you. It was wonderful. He comes in, we get our dance lesson, off we go. And me and her during the week would be just doing all kind of little things, trying to, we can't do anything, but we're trying. And that goes for anything we do in life. If you want to learn something, you go learn it, you go practice it. And you go practice some more, and then you do it. You go learn it, you practice. Don't worry about the other things. Don't worry about the other things. You can do any social media, like for instance, if you understand one social media, the rest might be a little different, but you understand to create content. You understand how to support it with design because people like to see things. whether it's video or that, you learn how to support it. And once you're doing those things, in the background, your job is to run your business. You're not waiting for people to validate it. You need to validate your own business. I know we want people to like it, but you need to like it to the core. Then you will allow them to do the same. Just you liking it. I always look back at myself and I asked myself a question one day. I said, why did people like my business? Why did they like me? I was telling my son last week, I said, me and my mom did business in the same house. In the same house. And you would think that it would be a problem. This is how to showcase the competition that we think around. It's just we think it's around. We sell a couple of the same things. And when people come, they literally ask my mom, can I get Miss Normal? La da dee da. And then my clients would ask for mine. The people who liked her product didn't want mine. They literally, I would have the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll buy hers and not mine because those were her clients. We used to sell fruit drinks. I remember one time I only had three. I used to sell Five Finger. We have something called Mobby and another drink. And she was selling Five Finger and I can't remember what else. And the people will ask for hers because they connected with her, because they like how she sweetened it. And I didn't see much of a difference. But to them, when they came, they asked for her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my clients asked for mine. This is why it's not foreign when, there's people who coach together, people who sell clothing, and they're just like right there. There's some kind of a connection that's happening when the person walk into the store, what they're feeling, what's happening, how they're greeted. Maybe they know the owner. When you're bigger, it's different. Now you're how the employees behave. This is why as an employer, I told somebody that yesterday on a Facebook post. I said, as employers, we have to really, really pay attention when we hire people.
We really do. We
Don't just
really
hire
do.
people for the sake of it. I say to him, we got to think about it. I said, because what you were just asking us as people in the group, what would they do for X, Y, and Z? I said, there's different kind of people. There's people who come for a job and that's all they want because they need to pay a bill and that's it. Don't flash anything in front of them. Don't
Mm-hmm.
confuse them.
Yes.
Just give them the job.
And their attitude is so bad, people won't even approach your store.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
girl."
Yes. Yes.
They'll come in to look, and they'll see them sitting over there,
Yes.
and then, oh, I'm done.
Right? I went to Trinidad and I was looking at some shoes and stuff for my sister. And I got into this store. And this woman was so rude. It was beyond, it's not like a rude, it was an up and down look at me, put her
Just
hand in the
ugly.
face.
Yeah,
And I
hateful.
was I went to the back and the owner, nice short lady, she said, how you doing, darling? And stuff. We started talking. And I said, who's that person at the front of the desk? She says, oh, I'll give this girl a little try. I said, well, you should drop her. I'm sorry to say because she was rude when I entered the store.
It was terrible. It ruins the whole experience.
I didn't want to buy anything, Terry. I didn't want to buy anything. If the owner wouldn't greet me that way, I wouldn't want to buy anything. She made her apologize to me, but it was of no use because I told her after I meet her up again, I said, you're going to lose a lot of business because most people is not going to tell you. They're just going to walk right by. Her attitude just stink.
It's terrible. It really can ruin your business. And then the other thing is, if you hire an employee who is so needy that you have to spend all day doing social work, you cannot pay attention to what's going on in your business. And then you're helping them and you hired them to help you. Have you ever experienced that?
Ah, yes.
And it's just horrible because you have such a giving heart, but my goodness, that was not the purpose for hiring someone.
No.
It was so that you could be freed up to think about your business.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God, exactly. I'd hire somebody who have no experience, but have a good attitude. That's what my ad usually say. And you don't have to know how. But if you have a good attitude, I will train you. I would train you. I always tell people, oh, she's sick right now, but she 50 years she worked with me. She have a stroke right now. So I don't know if she's coming back, but that's not a point. That woman, when she came to me, she didn't know anything. And one of the best people I ever trained, she told me, she said, I hate cleaning kind. I don't like it, but I'm in a position where I need a job and I need a job. I'm just letting you
Mhm.
know up front, I don't like cleaning, but I'm willing to learn. And God is my witness. She ain't lie. She's willing to learn. I mean, she got in there and she dived in, but she didn't
Mhm.
know. Or it took her a while longer to train for sure. But she, once she got it, that was it.
And here's the other thing about that, Karen, and we're gonna wrap it up, but
Yeah,
is that when you work with someone who doesn't know, then they don't have to unlearn a lot of ugly stuff.
that is true. That is true.
Have
That
you
is true.
found that to be the case?
That,
Trying to break bad
yeah,
habits,
yeah,
or things that they learned somewhere else
yeah.
that are not applicable over
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. That is so true. That is so true. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, I always have such fun when we get together, Coach.
Right?
I just want to remind everybody that if you're looking for Coach online, you can find Coach Carn Fern at Profits in Daily on Facebook, on Instagram. She is on the web known as Coach Carn Fern, Profits in Daily. So I want I want you guys to follow her. Feel free to join her VIP group over on Facebook, and learn some wonderful things about how to do business better and how to handle your money.
Important because once your mindset is right, and you're getting things and you're behaving rightly, telling you the money will flow. You don't even have to worry about it. It just follows. It really just follows.
It flows, yes, because people come for the gift, guys.
Yes.
I want to remind you that if you're looking to become a part of Biz Chicks, we'd love for you to be a part of our community. And you can join our community simply by texting biz to 33777. And somewhere over here is the
Is
little
the
banner.
banner.
There
There
it
it is.
We are now on Discord. So if you have the Discord app, you can look for Biz Chicks over there. Also, we would love for you to follow us on YouTube. Hi, Dr. Tachi. How you doing this morning?
Hi, Doc.
To follow us on our YouTube channel under Biz Chicks. And we look forward to helping you run a profitable business that's fun to run. Thank you again, Coach Karen, for
Oh,
all that
you're
you
welcome.
do for us. We really appreciate your time, and we will be taking note of all of the treasures that you shared with us today. With that, guys, I want you to remember to go to the front of your own mind
Mhm.
because it really is okay to be successful. Have
Yes.
a great day, and we'll see you soon.